Hi, let me start by giving you all a really important statistic. A study conducted at Johns Hopkins University in California Center for Talented Youth concluded that a phenomenal 92% of the parents felt it was important for their children to excel in academics. But the same study also revealed that over 39% of the students felt too much academic pressure was being put on them by their parents. Now, this study tells us many things, positive and negative. However, the one important thing that it highlights is though the parents' intention is no doubt good, its effect is counterproductive on almost 50% of the students. Now, this is something for you parents to think about, right? Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and my teammates from TED-Ed. I am Ananya Bengeri, and the topic I would like to discuss today is the impact of parental pressure on the academic performance of a child, the good, the bad, and the ugly. What I plan is to give you a complete comprehensive, like a 360-degree perspective on this issue. This way, I hope I would be fair to both parents and their children. Okay, let me start by seeing whether this statistic makes sense to you all right now. Let me ask you parents, how many of you feel that it is necessary to put some pressure on and discipline on your child so that they excel in academics? Please be honest with yourself. Now here is a question for you students. How many of you feel that your parents put too much study pressure on you? Come on, don't be shy. Even I confess, my parents put a lot of pressure on me sometimes. Thanks everyone for being honest. I am sure everyone here has realized that there are two sides of the coin here itself. So parental pressure on academic performance of a child cannot be denied, and its impact on children is also equally visible. Now, let me tell you what I really mean when I say the good, the bad, and the ugly by giving you all a really simple example. We all say that the child is as precious as a diamond, right? And I'm sure you know how a diamond is formed, right? When coal is subjected to intense heat and pressure, it transforms into a beautiful and hard diamond. Same is the case with the child. When parents put some amount of pressure on the child, it does bring out the best in the child. This is good pressure. Good pressure is the one that is constant. It should be steady. You can't be scolding your child one day to study and the next day leave them loose. Optimal, it should be just right. Positive and encouraging so that your child can cope with it. But what happens when we keep on applying more heat and pressure on a diamond? Does it become harder? Does it become more precious? No, in fact, it just cracks. Now this is bad pressure. Parents have to understand the capability and capacity of the child and then apply only as much pressure as the child can withstand. Putting pressure beyond that makes it counterproductive. The important question is, how do you know whether the pressure you are putting that is being put on the child is working or becoming too much? Pressure that cracks a child is not good. If you realize that the child has started to cheat in exams, has become regressive, and performance has begun to slip, then these are early signs. If parents notice any changes in the child, then you need to take a step back. Unfortunately, what happens is when many parents see their child's performance begin to slip, they think that the child is not serious enough and put even more pressure. Now what happens? If you apply more heat and pressure, will the cracks in the diamond disappear? Will they just join back together? No. Eventually, the diamond will get crushed and become powder. It will become worthless. The child might be beginning to feel the same way. Putting too much pressure will destroy its potential completely. This is ugly pressure. It destroys rather than builds. It crushes the child. How do you recognize it? If the child appears to be confused, becomes rude, is suddenly uncaring, silent, or more alarmingly hurts self, loses weight and appetite, or is sad all the time, the pressure could be getting on really badly. Most psychologists agree that any sudden behavioral changes in a child is an indication that the pressure has become very ugly. Firstly, let us understand, is pressure necessary at all? Let's go a level deeper and understand what happens when you put pressure on the child. As long as good pressure is being put, the child becomes disciplined and begins to put effort. This discipline helps focus. The focus in turn gets the interest of the child triggered. Performance begins to show and the child starts getting noticed. The child becomes encouraged to achieve goals. When these goals are achieved, there is a sense of achievement. Finally, the child becomes mature and self-motivated. Thus, pressure which achieves positive results is required. It makes the child defined. It is good pressure. In fact, the parent and the child's bonds become stronger. Good pressure boosts the child's self-confidence. And Brian Tracy, the great American public speaker, says that self-confidence is the foundation of all great successes and achievements. It changes I can't to I can. So what's the advice, parents? There is nothing wrong in putting pressure, but all the time they should be openly communicating with the child and ask the child how they are reacting to the pressure. They should explain the children the value of effort. Thomas Edison, the man who invented the light bulb, we all say he is very intelligent, right? But in his early ages, he was removed from his school. He even failed 1000 times, yes, 1000 times, while making the light bulb. But he worked harder, kept experimenting, and he learned from his mistakes. And on the 1001st attempt, he finally succeeded. How does this pressure become bad? Again, it's time for a quick survey, parents. What are the 3 questions you ask your child when he or she comes home with the marks of an evaluation? Let me guess those questions. The first one is, how much did you get? The second one is, where did you lose those marks? And the third one is, who got the highest in class? While there is nothing wrong with the first question, the problem arises with the second and the third. That's because the focus should be on the child's performance and not on the lack of it. It should not reinforce how inferior he or she is when compared. Pressure which focuses completely on the negative and is always comparative is definitely not good pressure. It is definitely bad pressure. Being non-encouraging kills the confidence of the child and destroys its competitive spirit. Now, if you make statements such as, you have to get full marks next time, or if you don't get full marks, it's better you leave school, sit at home and wash vessels. Why should we pay for your high fees? Then this kind of pressure is ugly. With such pressure, the child might go into a shell and become quiet. Negative feelings such as anger, indignation, shame, anxiety, and guilt might be felt by a child. If not stopped, the child can go into a state of depression and may, in an extreme case, even harm self. So parents, watch out for these danger signals. If your child's performance has suddenly deteriorated, he or she has become disinterested in things that used to be of great interest, if he or she has become rebellious suddenly or has developed a negative outlook to everything, then there is a problem. Or it may also be that the child is falling sick often or is making excuses to miss school. Then these should make you consider that that probably your pressure is harming. Underlying all the negativity is the fact that it is ruining the tender relationship of the parent and the child and is not something both want. Well, that is said about parents. What can we as children do to change the situation? After all, the onus is on us too, right? Today, the world is highly competitive and our parents are facing it. Well, even I agree with parents when they say that we need to get a better education and as a part of it, good grades. We have to understand that they want us to have better jobs, better careers, a better position in society. In fact, they want us to be better versions of ourselves and even them. So we have to understand the underlying objective. A lot of pressure will just go away in the realization. Let us not focus on the tone of what they say, but focus more on the content of what they are saying. And more importantly, let us understand the objective behind what they are saying. That way, we will become positive. We will understand their pain better and appreciate the pressure they are putting on us. So, in the end, one can say what's needed better is understanding of communication. In a world full of technology and hyper communication, we have forgotten to understand communication. Create that bond. And parents, please don't make us a bonded labor of your dream. Set us free and we will come back to you. Thank you all and have a nice day.